Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mayor Frank Carboni to commence the official proceedings.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to all our special guests, and welcome to tonight's Citizenship Ceremony. Can I start off, first of all, by acknowledging the traditional lands upon the land which we are meeting, the Gadigal people and Thurrock Nation, and I wish to acknowledge their elders, both past and present. And welcome to tonight's Citizenship Ceremony here at Fairfield City Council. Tonight is a very important night for you, but also for our community, and we welcome you. We'll be welcoming all of you as new Australians, and I just want to say congratulations for taking the leap of faith. Some of you have been here for a short time, and some of you have been here for a long time, and tonight you have decided to become Australians. To be part of this special ceremony, we have a lot of special guests that have come, and I want to acknowledge their presence here tonight. First of all, can we acknowledge the presence of Mr. Alan Young, the City Manager. Thank you very much, Alan, for coming tonight. Second, to Mr. Tom Murphy, who is a special guest of mine for tonight's ceremony. And of course, to the wonderful First Fairfield Heights Scouts group, we thank them very much for attending tonight as well. Now, to commence the ceremony, I will call Mr. Alan Young to come up and read the message from the Minister for Citizenship and Immigration. Alan, a big round of applause, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all of the candidates this evening. As the Mayor has said, I do have a message from the Minister for Immigration, Migration Services and Multicultural Affairs, the Honourable David Coleman. And his message is as follows. Today you become an Australian citizen. We are immensely proud of what we have achieved as a nation, and we welcome you in joining us. Our history and culture has been forged over thousands of years, first through Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, and more recently with people from all corners of the earth. Australia has succeeded as a nation by embracing and defending our national values. We believe in freedom, in the rule of law, in democracy. We believe that all people are equal regardless of their cultural background, gender, race, or religion. We are a resilient nation. We have overcome world wars, depression, drought and flood. We stand with other strong democracies in helping to defend and protect hard-fought freedoms. By committing yourself to Australia today, you have chosen to embrace our nation and its values. Like so many millions of people throughout our history, you have decided to take on the rights and responsibilities of Australian citizenship. On behalf of the Australian Government, I congratulate you on reaching this very special day. It's now your responsibility to join all of us in building an even stronger nation. And it's signed, David Coleman, Minister. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Alan. Next, I'm going to call up our special guest, whose name is Tom Murphy. Now, one of the things that we've introduced to our local citizenship ceremonies is inviting local people who have a short story to tell about their history and their journey here to Australia. Tom came to Australia in, I'm sure it's part of his speech, but in 1978 from Northern Ireland, and he tells me that when he left it was snowing, and when he came here it was a heat wave. Is that right, Tom? That's correct. And so Tom is a very well-known local resident and businessman, but also he's someone that's very committed to the well-being of our community. And some of you might know the Fairfield Trolley Run that is held every year, and Tom is the person that actually organises that trolley run, where food is gathered into trolleys, is pushed down Ware Street, and it goes to our local soup kitchen to be provided to the homeless. So next I'd like to call our special guest, Tom Murphy, to please come up and say a few words. Please give a big round of applause.
Here we go. good evening. Can you hear me all? Isn't it wonderful to see so many lovely faces? And the best thing about it was becoming Aussies today. I had this opportunity about 40 years ago to become an Australian. Been in Australia now for 44 years. I was 12 years old. As Mr Mayor said, when I left Ireland as a young boy, there was 2 feet of snow on the ground, and when I hit Sydney on the 12th of January 1973, it was 34 degrees. That was on the Friday. On the Sunday, I was crying. I wanted to go home to my country because it was too hot. This country was too hot. But I'm glad we didn't. My mum had 12 children. We all came to Sydney, which is great. And we all settled in a wonderful place called Fairfield. And this is where you are. And this is where a lot of great Australians are made. You blend in, you work hard, and you're part of our community. And that's what it's all about. So it's a big step for everybody tonight to swear allegiance to Australia, but do it with pride and be happy and do your best, be part of Australia and blend in. There's so many things to do here within the community of Fairfield. We all come with different things we can do. Somebody could be a good gardener, somebody could be helping out at school reading. Schools always ask for help. Be a volunteer within our community. That's how you blend in. That's how you get ahead here in Sydney and especially in Fairfield. There's so many things out there for you to do. Put your hand up. If somebody asks to be a volunteer at school, to read, to translate, you're very lucky. A lot of people speak 2, 3 different languages. I'm stuck with English, a little bit of Irish, but you know, if you can help out, that's what it's all about. You've come to a great community, you've come to a great council. We've got great leaders here within Mr Mayor and the staff around us. So I wish you well in becoming Australians tonight. Be proud and enjoy becoming an Aussie. All right? God bless you all. Well done. Well done.
Thank you, Tom, for those words. Now, in a minute, I'm going to start the official speech, which will make you Australians. But just briefly, before I do that, Tom told you your story, and just briefly, I'll tell you my story. So, I'm an Aussie. I was born in the old Fairfield Hospital, not the one that we currently have, but the old one. But my parents came in the 60s from Italy. They are from Italian background, and they came here for the same reason that 4 million people before you. There have been 4 million people before tonight that have become Australian citizens. So you're following in those footsteps of all those people before you. And my parents came here for the same reasons that most people came here. Came here looking for hope and opportunity for their family. And it was a very long place to go, to come from Italy. As Tom said, coming from Europe to Italy from Europe to Australia is no easy feat. And it's amazing how many people came during that time from Europe. Even our general manager is from Scotland himself. I think that he's the only Scottish person in Fairfield, and he's probably the only Northern Ireland. We can only take one of each, but we took the 2 best ones. So we got them both here. But the story goes that my parents came here for hope and opportunity to raise their family, and in doing so they made a significant contribution, I would like to believe, to this community. They raised their children, and now Australia is our home and is the home of my kids. So I know it's a big ask when you become a citizen of a new country. We all love the place where we were born. There is nothing wrong with that. That's in your blood. Nobody can take that away from you. But I'll tell you something, this country here, you'll get to love it. It will be your country, it will be your children's country, and if you work hard and you make the same contribution and you take the same opportunities that the migrants before you took, you will make just as big a contribution as everybody else, because this country was built on the back of migrants, just like all of you here tonight. I'll now start the official speech. As presiding officer, I've been approved under the Australian Citizenship Act of 2007 to administer the Pledge of Commitment as a citizen of the Commonwealth of Australia, which is the final step to you becoming an Australian citizen. Australian citizenship represents full and formal membership of the community of the Commonwealth of Australia. And Australian citizenship is a common bond involving reciprocal rights and obligations, uniting all Australians while respecting their diversity. Persons on whom Australian citizenship is conferred enjoy these rights and undertake to accept these obligations by pledging loyalty to Australia and its people, by sharing their democratic beliefs, by respecting their rights and their liberties, and by upholding and obeying the laws of Australia. Becoming an Australian citizen does not mean forgetting your country of birth or the country where you grew up, or its customs or its cultures. What it means is a public commitment to embracing Australian values and institutions and bringing to them the enrichment of diversity. Citizenship brings responsibilities and duties to obey the laws, to vote, to serve on a jury and to defend Australia. It also brings civil and social rights, the right to express your individual cultural heritage beliefs, coupled with a responsibility to accept the rights of others to express their heritage and their beliefs. The act of acquiring Australian citizenship is a solemn act of law. You're about to undertake a new commitment and a new responsibility. You're about to take on a new status here in Australia and wherever you may travel in the world. It is a status which you may be proud, a status in a nation which is vigorous and independent. As Australians, you'll be members of the community which is democratic and in which everyone has equal rights and freedom of opportunity. Australia's heritage is made richer by contributions from people from many lands. In making the Australian Citizenship Pledge, you become an Australian citizen and promise your loyalty to Australia and to its people. You undertake to share Australia's democratic beliefs, to respect Australia's rights and liberties, and uphold and obey this nation's laws. It's my duty to remind you that every right also has responsibilities. Only if we accept our duty as Australian citizens can we make sure that the rights of ourselves and our children are protected now and also into the future. When you apply for citizenship, you chose to make an oath to God or an affirmation of loyalty to Australia. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to stand and make an oath under God or an affirmation of loyalty to Australia. Those who are making an oath will have a green dot on your card. If you have a green dot on your card, please stand and repeat after me. Green dot. A green dot. If you have a gold dot, stay sitting down. Just a green dot. From this time forward, under God, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Thank you. Please be seated now. Those of you with a gold dot on your card, please stand and repeat after me. You have a gold dot. A gold dot. So if you haven't stood up yet, you must be standing now. From this time forward, I pledge my loyalty to Australia and its people, whose democratic beliefs I share, whose rights and liberties I respect, and whose laws I will uphold and obey. Thank you. Please be seated. Would the rest of us give our new Australians a big round of applause? That was an easy bit. You're not home yet. Next, we will ask you to follow the staff's instructions and come up and take a photo. You will be provided that photo at no charge if you smile. If you do not smile, we will send a bill with the photo as well. Now, if we don't smile, you can send us a bill back too. Okay, so please follow the instructions of the staff, make sure you smile, and that way everybody will be happy. Also, we know what an important occasion this is for you and also for our city. More than 90,000 people have become citizens here in Fairfield City. That's a lot of people over a long time. And tonight you join those people that made a wonderful contribution to our nation, but also to our city. Our city is very rich in diversity, very rich in culture, very rich in tradition, and we've all joined to be very proud as Australians, no matter where people come from. So tonight we will also give you this gold coin. It's not made in China, so it's a dollar coin, it's worth more than $1. And we've made it extra large, so you don't put it in the poker machines either, so don't try it. It won't work. We've got enough issues with poker machines in our city. But look, jokes aside, you all get a coin, you all get a nice photograph, and it'll be our pleasure to provide you with the certificates, so please follow the instructions of the staff. We've got 100 people to smile. If you think it's hard for you, imagine how hard it is for us. We've got to be there with both. So please follow the instructions of the staff. Thank you.
Please step forward to receive your citizenship certificate. Council staff will take your photo with the mayor. As there are many new citizens here tonight, your patience and silence as the certificates are being presented will be most appreciated. Number 1, Kanan Azia Adam. Dan Najib. C and Min. 47 just from here. Not 10 Lone Mill. Phone Lone Mill. 50 57 T-Tube Triangle. 58 T-Turret Lid Mill.